I'm actually afraid I might be infertile.
Why?
Well, okay, if we think about it, I have not once gotten pregnant. And I wasn't the most careful. I mean, we haven't been the most careful either. Remember when my birth control was expired and I just wasn't on birth control for a year?
Was it a whole year?
Yeah.
Jesus.
ROTN, let me present to you the ROTN Podcast. The ROTN Podcast.
How do you want me to say it?
Rotten.
Welcome to episode 18 of the ROTN Podcast. Hello, hello, hello. I think we have not given you a shout out in a second. The ROTN freaking jingle is amazing.
I feel like we always talk about that. Or
When is the last time we talked about it? When is
Maybe
the last time?
we don't talk about it.
No, it's amazing. I actually just saw my friend Kristen today, and she told me it was really good, and her son sing it, and I was like,
No way.
That makes me so happy. Yeah,
that is so
that
funny.
makes me so happy. So
I love that the jingle is becoming something that gets brought up. I remember when we first launched the podcast, that was something you said. The rep made a comment about how good the jingle was.
Who?
The Spotify rep.
Oh, yeah. Jessica, she was like, wow, that jingle is so freaking good. Like, does Matt make music? And I was like, actually, that's what he does. He literally makes music. You know, we actually need to have you make another jingle for the ROTN submissions. Like, imagine if you knew when the submission portion of this podcast was happening.
And now it's time.
Now it's time. Or it could just be like a sound effect or whatever it is. Yes. What's the deepest you can go saying ROTN?
The deepest I can go is maybe this low. I don't know.
Wait, that's actually impressive.
I would have to really get into the zone to talk low.
Oh, okay. Let me try to go deep. Why am I blanking on what to say now? I love you.
I love you.
I love you.
Okay. You're hilarious.
Okay. Well, as you guys can tell from the title, today we are talking about our wedding. Our fairy tale wedding, what we want, what we don't want, how many people we want there, where do we want it. We actually have not yet had this conversation in real life, and we decided, or at least I decided, it would be fun to do it on the pod.
Well, we've had conversations briefly about it, about certain things for sure.
Yes. Fun fact, I didn't tell you this, but guess what I did today?
Well, I saw in your story
Oh,
while
dang
I was
it. I was hoping you weren't going to look.
Literally right before when you were
Dang
sitting
it.
here, I went to the bathroom and I was just scrolling on my phone, saw your stories. Usually that's how I find out about what's going on with you.
I was going to tell you on the freaking pod.
It's hilarious. So you went dress shopping.
Okay, accidentally went dress shopping. So randomly Casablanca, which was the which was the wedding bridal store I went to today, they had emailed me being like, hey, Tiffany, like we're having this VIP event. Like if you want to come eye shopping and just like look around, like stop by. And I was like, oh, perfect. Like, yeah, like I'm free today. I can stop by at 12, whatever. No big deal. I get there and I realize I'm having a one-on-one session with their rep trying on dresses. And I don't know if I'm just stupid. I should have known this was what was happening. But I was like, wait. Like, you're supposed to have your friends there and like your family. And I was like, wait, like it felt weird because I was like, am I cheating on my friends that I didn't invite? Like, I want to do this with my friends. Like, what am I doing here? But I had the best time. Joanna, she is the rep for the PR firm. And then Crystal was there. Crystal is the head designer for Casablanca. And she's just this amazing, amazing woman. Went to USC to learn business, and it's her family's business. And she became the creative director and head designer. And so I tried on 6 dresses.
Wow. Did you find one that you liked?
I don't want to say it because then I want my friends to be there. But I think I found a dress that I love. Like, I don't want to say I found the dress because it feels weird saying that when we haven't planned anything else in our wedding. Like, I don't know what our aesthetic for the actual wedding venue is going to be. And I want the aesthetic to match the dress, and I want the dress to match the venue. Like, you know, so, but I fell in love with the dress. I'm definitely not showing it to you just in case it becomes the dress, but I think I said yes to the dress.
No way.
But I don't want to say yes to the issue is I don't want to say yes to the dress because my friends and family weren't there. So I want to redo this next month. I told them I'm coming back in next month. I'm going to invite my friends and family so that like we can all do like the real thing. But I did try on a lot of dresses, and I
don't know how you could try on 6 dresses and not find one that you like.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Especially if they're like at the top level of bridal dresses.
Mm-hmm.
It's only inevitable that you're going to fall in love with something.
Guess how much a bridal dress is?
I mean, I'm sure the prices can be wild.
Yes,
but I would assume probably $1,800 to $3,400.
Okay. Not bad. I honestly thought you were gonna say like 1,000. So the Casablanca dresses range from 2,500 to 7. The dress I found was 34, which was at the lower end. I was like,
wait,
yes.
did I say 34?
Yes, you did. That's why I
Nice.
was like, this is perfect. So the dress I ended up falling in love with, that I am apprehensive to say yes to because I want my friends there before and
Is
to
that
tell
just
me.
something you feel you have to do? Like, do you actually need your friends and family around, or can it be just a decision you make personally?
Well, I feel like traditionally you have your friends and family there. So it feels weird for me to say yes without having the opinions of my friends and family. And maybe it's just like a girl thing. But I feel like with girls, like when we're picking out our prom dresses or we're like going to a fancy event or we're doing anything, we'll like text each other being like, this is what I'm wearing today, or this is what I'm wearing for it. And of course, I do want my friends and family to be surprised at the dress the day of, but I also want their opinion on the dress. I mean, Joanna and Crystal really helped me. The girls that were there, they were like, oh my God, like we could just tell you love this dress. They were more going off the vibes I was giving off more than like what their opinion was.
I'm sure you just naturally glow when you see something that you really like. It's funny that women do that together. It makes sense. But for me personally, and I don't know how other guys feel about it, but I hate trying on clothes.
Yeah.
There is nothing more that I dread than sitting in a department store or a store and trying on clothes. It makes me so annoyed. I get so frustrated. I don't know why I just have such a short temper.
Yeah.
Not only with trying on clothes, but just being in department stores.
Really?
It's something about the lighting, I think. Just
It's the bad
bright
lighting.
lights. It's like I feel there's no air inside. I kind of feel a little like suffocated, not in like an anxious way, but just doesn't feel natural. I'm like, can't wait to get the out of here.
I will say, as a kid, I used to love going to the malls. But as I've gotten older and the fitting rooms feel a lot more cramped, I don't enjoy it. But today I enjoyed it because like you were in actually kind of a large fitting room, and then you went out and they had good lighting. They made sure they had good lighting for the brides. And it was like a whole, I don't know. I wish my friends and family were there. I was so sad. But it honestly put a fire in me that made me so excited for our wedding day because I cannot wait for you to see me in a wedding dress.
Oh, that makes me so happy.
Walking down the
can't
aisle.
imagine.
I might cry. Like when I put on this dress that I found, I
I
almost
could see the little
cried.
tears in your eyes.
I was so excited.
Well,
And
why do you think you were crying, or what made it sentimental?
I felt pretty.
But you're always pretty. I mean, even right now, you're, when you came home, I was like, wow. I always have that thought when I see you. I'm like, damn, you're very good looking. No surprise. You act humble about it, but I mean, it's also how you get paid, not for your looks, but.
I'm glad you said that because today I actually saw my friend Kristen that I hadn't seen, Kristen Dominique. I hadn't seen her in 7 years, and she's just absolutely drop dead gorgeous, is amazing at makeup, amazing at fashion, just so cute. And I was like, I look like trash compared to her. Also, like, it's weird not seeing your friend. Like, I hadn't seen her in 7 years, so I was like, oh my gosh,
That's
like, I
a
have to
long
look
time
cute.
not to see a friend.
Yeah.
It's crazy how time can go by that fast. There's friends that I haven't seen in 7 years, and that's just what happens, I guess, when you get older.
The best friends are the ones you see after like 5 years and things just feel completely comfortable around them.
Are they? People say that. I don't know if I buy it.
Those are like the best friends.
Well, I feel like the best friends are friends that you don't go 5 years without being in touch
I'm not
with.
saying they're my best friend. I'm saying the best types of friends. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Best types of friends are the ones you don't see for years and everything just feels natural when you're together.
Yeah. The best type of friend is a friend that you have in your life every day, but I get what you're saying. Like it's great to have a type of friend where you don't have to keep in touch too much, but every time you do connect, it feels like there's no time that passed. And then you have people in your life that you'll catch up with and you're like, things feel a little awkward, or maybe I'm a little different now. Or maybe
Yeah.
you're different now. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Or both of you guys are different. I feel
Yeah.
like it's very easy to change, and you should be changing and growing in 5 to 7 years.
I
But
feel
it's
like
nice when
yeah.
you've grown at the same rate, so you can actually feel like you're connecting in the same way about different
Yeah.
things.
Yeah. I think if you've shared a certain amount of experiences also with people, that'll bring that connection back because
Yeah.
there's always something to fall back on. Like I have friends from back home, and since we've shared so many memories every time we talk, it's fun to even just crack into those, high school memories and stuff like that. I think people always cherish that period in their life, growing up, being in high school, making all those memories.
I don't know. It was like today felt like a sentimental day for some reason. I went bridal dress shopping and then I saw an old friend. It made me so excited for our wedding. Like, it's been a minute since I felt very excited for our wedding. Like, of course I'm excited, but it's a lot of pressure planning a wedding, spending the money, having conversations about a wedding and what we want and if we want different things. But today I was like, you know what? Who gives a about the actual wedding and the stresses of the wedding? Like, I'm just excited to get married to you and start life with you and have babies.
Yeah. Oh, we baby talking.
I'm actually, I was talking to Kristen about this. I'm actually afraid I might be infertile.
Why?
Well, okay, if we think about it, I've been having sex since I was like 15, 16. I have not once gotten pregnant. And I wasn't the most careful. I mean, we haven't been the most careful either. Remember when my birth control was expired and I just wasn't on birth control for a year?
Was it a whole year?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
It'll take your body some time
to readjust.
To not having that stuff just pumping chemicals into your body, which is up.
I also have not had my period. Like, maybe I've had it once in like 3 or 4 years, or twice in 3 or 4 years. And I'm like, what if things don't go back to normal? And I'm turning 30 this year. I'm turning 30 in less than
Old
3
woman
weeks.
Alert. I know. I'm so excited for your
Actually,
birthday.
a little more than 3 weeks, which isn't scary anymore. I'm actually very excited, but it's scary in the terms of my biological clock. I don't know what the hell is going to happen if we can't make babies. I know we can go through IVF, but I want to start I want a family with you. And that the worst thing is if one of us can't finish the job for the other.
That would be so sad.
I think we should both get our testing done.
Yeah.
We should both get tested, so then at least we can plan that for our future. Because if we want kids in 3 years, or when do you want kids?
Definitely not 2.
So 3.
Starting the process in 3 years. I feel like for me, it
That means
just
I'm
depends.
gonna be 33.
We're in different places in our life.
Yeah.
You're more established with your career, and I'm just starting to really like dive into mine.
I mean, even me you thinking I'm established in my career, I still feel like I'm behind in my career.
Yeah, you say that, but you are still, established. You own a house. You successfully work for yourself.
Yeah.
In success, meaning you're able to fund your life and save money and invest money while paying a mortgage. To me, that's success. Off of your own passions in the business you've built.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's definitely successful.
I
mean,
have
we've talked about this
syndrome to the max. Which,
yeah, sometimes you just gotta own that shit.
Yeah,
you gotta own it. Own who you are, and be aware enough to be humble about it.
I mean,
and being humble meaning like recognizing how much you do have, because I always have to bring myself back to that when I'm going through a place in a mindset where I'm not feeling at all happy with where I'm at. And then I look around and maybe I don't have the certain achievements, or I'm not from a number standpoint where I want to be, or have had the impact yet with my music. But me being able to really kind of live the life that I want to live, it doesn't look exactly how maybe I thought yet.
Yeah.
But if I take a step back and I really think about it, like, okay, I'm living in California. I have a beautiful studio that I've been working on building for like 10 years.
You're making incredible music as well. I'm so excited for you to start posting your music, because the music you've been working on is fire.
Thank you.
Do you think you suffer with imposter syndrome as well, or is it just me?
No, I don't suffer from imposter syndrome. I don't have the ability to suffer. Like, I don't have some big platform or something. I'm still like proving it to myself and proving it to people around. It feels like where I'm at.
Maybe you don't actually understand what imposter syndrome feels like, because imposter syndrome feels like you don't deserve what you have, and it was because of outside forces that gave you what you had, and at any moment everything will disappear. It's not like, oh, I'm so successful, I didn't deserve it. It's like feeling like you don't deserve it, but it's also feeling like it could get taken away any second, and it wasn't you that got you to where you are today. It's someone else. It's like say like you collab with Drake, right? And you became massive. Imposter syndrome is like, wow, I only got here because of Drake. If it wasn't for Drake, I would have never gotten here. It's like you feel like you don't have it in yourself to get there, or you don't have it in yourself to get where you are today. That's what imposter syndrome really feels like.
Yeah, I don't feel imposter syndrome at all. I will say I feel maybe if I did have a collab with Drake and I got some big success from that, I'd be like, wow, like maybe I don't deserve this. But I haven't had that kind of breakthrough or gotten to the level financially, impact wise yet either.
Yeah.
And again, something I try to spend a lot of intentional time with is being grateful. And just off of like where I grew up, having parents that cared about me, like there's so many factors that make me feel so fortunate. And especially in all these trivial times in our society over the past 4 years. And I am so grateful that I haven't even had to have thoughts that so many other people have to have, like and that's also being a man. As a woman, I'm sure you guys have thoughts. Like we were talking about this the other day, being at the gym. Not that you go to the gym. Let's make that clear. No, but I'm sure it feels really uncomfortable to be a woman at the gym. Like I feel the uncomfortableness around the situation because
you should share this story.
So I was working out at the gym, and there's this woman next to me, and I could tell she was feeling some type of way. I was looking at myself. I was picking up weights. I was doing my own thing. But I could feel that maybe she thought that I was following her or looking at her. And I felt uncomfortable because I'm in my own lane doing my own thing.
Yeah.
And I could sense her getting some form of uncomfortableness around me. And I almost felt like I had to overcompensate for some made up thought that I had. I could have just been like hallucinating this whole thing, but it got me thinking about women in the gym and how it must be so uncomfortable because it is so vulnerable, because not only is everyone wearing smaller clothes, there's a lot more quote unquote masculine men, bigger men. They're just, the environment in general is definitely vulnerable for women. And there aren't as many women at the gym, especially in the weightlifting area, as there are men. And again, back to my point, that isn't even a thought I've ever had to have, where going to the gym, I'm feeling uncomfortable from a safety standpoint.
Yeah.
So from where I was going with it is I'm just so privileged in general that is maybe one is in the family of imposter syndrome. Because I used to ask myself that question all the time, like, why me? Like, why do I get to have this life and other people don't?
I don't know if that's necessarily imposter syndrome.
No.
I think
that
is like a healthy question to have with privilege. Like people with privilege should have those thoughts, being like, why me? Why not them? That's super healthy. And just like people without privilege think the same way. Why them and not me? Yeah. So I think it just shows that you're like you're a good human if you think those thoughts.
Yeah.
Most people with privilege probably don't think that way. It doesn't even cross their minds.
Yeah.
And it's because they live with privilege, it doesn't ever cross their mind.
Yeah. Like when you were explaining imposter syndrome and stuff, I was sitting there thinking, there's no way I could feel that, because I feel that I try so hard. Like I work so hard that there's no way that I would feel like, oh, how did this just happen? Because I'm constantly putting so much effort into it. Like, no, I made that happen because I tried and failed and failed and failed and kept trying. So maybe not saying you don't work as hard, but they're just different. Like when you're really focused on a specific craft that you get good at, like music, it's, and people who make music know how hard it is. And I'm not saying that making content isn't hard. it's so different. And maybe you don't give yourself enough credit for how hard it is because you're so naturally good at it. That's probably why maybe there is that imposter feeling, because people do have a really hard time making content, being open, putting on makeup, like even me putting on a fit, getting camera ready. Takes a lot of energy, and it is a skill to develop.
I mean, I don't think I'm even naturally great at it. That's where the imposter syndrome comes in. It's like, I'm not good enough. I don't deserve this. Why are people following me? Why do I have this success? Do I deserve this success? Will this be taken away from me? Will anyone believe I got here because of me, or do they think I got here because of someone else? Those are a little bit different. And those are all nuanced thoughts that I have when it comes to my imposter syndrome. But yeah, I mean, it's something I'm working on. It's something that I used to struggle with a lot more. As I've gotten to the point where I stay away from making viral content, I've become more myself in who I am as a person, that I don't feel as much of an imposter as I have in the past, when before I actually understood the YouTube algorithm and I understood how to make a viral video, but it was like, it's going viral because I understand the algorithm, not because anyone actually likes me.
That is such a valuable skill.
Yeah.
People pay so much money to not only hire people at marketing firms, which, I've been doing, right? Mm-hmm. Understanding content formats and what's trending is such a valuable skill. Yeah. There's so many nuances to it. So I don't know if you should stay away from it just because you feel like it's a cheap thing to do, when actually it's like a very valuable way where you can leverage everything you've built.
Well, now I don't know the algorithm. There was a point when I understood the algorithm and I purposely stopped making videos because it sucks your soul.
That's your pride.
It sucks your soul.
Yeah.
My most viral videos are 10 lies every girl tells. 10 things to do when you have a school bully. Like, literally, I'm not kidding.
They'll come up on my feed, like on YouTube, and it's like from
8 million
7 years
views,
ago.
10
yeah,
million
and I'm like,
views,
Jesus.
4 million views.
Like, you're that girl from...
It's embarrassing.
People probably see you like, you're that girl from the 10 things you should never do at school or whatever.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
But the thing is, it didn't gain you loyal followers. It gained you people that saw you, they clicked on it, but they don't follow you. Like, it's because they don't know your personality. You're just trying to be funny and be someone you're not. Like, I wasn't myself.
It gives you a good opportunity, though, to take the attention and then convert that into people through authentic content, which you've done, right?
Yeah.
You've definitely built your own audience and followers, and, we'll get stopped. And before the whole, like, TikTok era, I felt like we ran into way more people who were like, oh, my God, I watch your videos.
Yeah.
And people always come up to you all the time in different cities, wherever we are, it'll definitely happen. And it's always interesting to see people being like, I've been watching you for 10 years. Like, I've been watching you for 7 years.
Yeah.
That just shows you do have loyal people who care about you and your life.
Yeah, but
which is crazy.
Now there's like such a huge influx of influencers, so it's so much harder, especially when I'm competing with TikTokers who are like 17 and can post like 10 videos a day and like not have any other responsibilities other than just posting content.
I think it's so scary and I struggle with this sometimes too, where I have to stop myself and be like, what am I making music for? Because to me, it feels very scary that so many people, and it almost feels at an increasing rate, especially with the newer generation, that everyone just wants to be famous. And that's
your goal isn't to be famous. Your goal is just to be like respected.
My goal is fame is a byproduct of what I want to achieve, which is having impact with music. Mm-hmm. If there's a way to go around that would be great, because I don't want to, when I become super successful, I don't want my life to be hindered where I can't go to the store, or
you don't want to be in a snow globe.
I don't want to be in a snow globe for sure. And I just want to make really meaningful music that connects with people.
Yeah.
So the goal isn't to just be recognized for no reason. The goal is to like make something that has impact. And really, I think it's so funny when every artist, so classic, they say, I did this for the fans. And I'm like, no, you didn't do shit for the fans. You did this for yourself. Like, you...
Really? Like, what would be an example of this?
Of what?
doing it for the fans.
So many artists, every artist I follow, especially more like up and coming artists and stuff. It's like, I did this for the fans. You know, I did this for the people.
Did
It's
what? Like make a song?
Make a song,
Oh.
like made a music video. Like I did it for you. And it's so untrue because you didn't do it for them. You did it for yourself. And that's okay to be selfish and want to achieve something that will help people. But when people say that they did it for someone else, I just don't believe that that's even remotely true. For music, like people are doing it as a self-exploration most of the time.
I think I need a better example. Like, when did Drake, like, what was it? A song
not
they didn't
saying
care to
Drake.
make?
I'm not saying Drake.
Because I could see people being like, I made this video for the fans because people were asking for it. Like, that seems very valid. Like, ugh, I don't want to make this music
I
video.
think it's more of a casual, like, I do this for you guys.
Oh.
Like, I do this all for you.
I do
just
it for
like
the community.
Like, yeah, just a constant.
NFT stuff. Because some things, I mean, are valid. Like,
I'm talking more in the case of music artists that are claiming that they're doing what they're doing for other people when they're doing it for themselves.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I could see that.
And I think that's where you get the best impact is by being authentic and true and having a message and not just chasing something that other people are doing.
Okay.
It's the hardest thing to do, but it's the most valuable.
Yeah. I mean, either way, I don't know how we got here because we should go back to the wedding stuff because I do want to focus on this conversation. But yeah, I mean, I definitely struggle with imposter syndrome and I think it's something I'm working on and we'll continue to work on. And I'm excited to work on it and get rid of this stupid feeling that I have.
Is there a time when it comes up? Is it?
No, it's
are
just
you
an
triggered by
overall
something?
feeling.
Oh, okay.
It's never like at this moment I feel like I have imposter syndrome. It's just like an overall like, wow, like what is my meaning to life? What is my contribution to the world? Do I deserve this? Have I deserved it? Am I gonna have this forever? Do people think I deserve this? Yeah. So it's not like these random moments. I just like, it doesn't make me cry or anything. It's just like
There's just kind of lingering thoughts in the back of your
Yes.
head from time to time.
Yes.
I got it. Yeah.
Yes. But either way, tried on wedding dresses today. Would you like to see one that I know I won't wear?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, let's do it.
Also, if you guys are listening to
Oh my God. You are fucking beautiful. That is insane.
really? Okay, so
Don't
what
act
Matt is
surprised.
currently looking at, and we'll have a photo here for
You
you
are
guys.
so beautiful. I can't imagine it looking better. That's what I don't
Really?
understand.
You like that one?
Yeah, but I also don't know what
Mm-hmm.
in comparison. When I think of a wedding dress, I think of this.
Yeah, there's I'm not gonna lie. When I went to the bridal shop, there was hundreds of dresses, and I was like,
It's got to be
they all look the
overwhelming.
same. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know where to start, but I guess when you're a soon-to-be bride, they actually have this rep that shops with you, and she pulls your dresses. So I actually didn't get to look at a million dresses. She
That's
only
good.
pulled 6 dresses and went from super sleek to super fairy tale. And she did that
Oh,
on
okay.
purpose to be like,
Yeah.
all right, which one did you like more of those two? Like what complete opposites of the spectrum. And then I was like, oh, wait, I actually randomly like this one more than that one, even though I thought I was going to like this one. And then from there, she like kept narrowing and narrowing.
It's smart. That's what they did for when I was shopping for the diamond.
Really?
And also, if you give people too many options, they become indecisive and then they start to like mentally get worn down. And you want your consumers to make a strong decision. So you want to give them very strong different choices and see where. But if you give too many choices, they'll be like, I like this, but maybe that, but and then you end up like, I'm gonna
Yeah.
think about it and I'll come back.
Yeah. And then you're like, oh, wait, fuck, I still don't know.
And even when I knew exactly what I wanted,
How did you choose I don't think we talked about this on the pod. How did you choose my ring?
like the actual stone,
Yeah.
I did a lot of research, got linked up with someone my dad knew that owned a jewelry shop. And so I talked with her. She was really helpful. And she was in Chicago. So she was just giving me tips and being like, also, by the way, I can save you on tax if you come in. I was like, okay, let's keep that in the back pocket. But she's like, my overall goals are honestly just to help you and keep you informed when you do go ring shopping. This is what you should be looking for. This is how you should ask questions. And this is how the jeweler should be talking to you. You know, we went ring shopping and I knew that you wanted an oval. And I talked to this woman. She was really helpful. She gave me good information. And I ended up flying back to Chicago. And I really had a short window of a few days to get it in. I was only in for a few days. And so it was either like, it's got to happen or I'm going to be kind of screwed. When I went in, she only had like 3 to 4 different options for me, which that's
a concerning. That's it.
It wasn't concerning. I mean, it was concerning, but also she gave me really good options.
Okay.
And
but you didn't choose those ones, right?
Right. I didn't choose those ones. And I even told her before I came, because I did this like, hey, I'm coming next week.
Yeah.
But I'll only come next week if that's enough time for you. If not, we can do it a month from now.
Okay.
And she was like, no, I'll be ready. That's definitely more than enough time. So in her mind, she had the really good options for me, and she did. But when I saw them, nothing like spoke to me. And I was like almost had a pit in my stomach where you kind of feel like you
have to settle.
You have to settle, and you know that you don't want to. And so I was like, let me think about it. And then I texted her. I was like, hey, I did some more research. I talked to another friend. He's like, oh, I could get you something at this price point. I told her that, and she's like, okay, are you willing to change your budget? I'm like, no. Mm-hmm. And then she's like, okay, let me see what I can do. I think what happens is a lot of people go into these situations having a price range, knowing briefly what they want, and then they get kind of taken advantage of by jewelers, because at the end of the day, it's a business, not being taken advantage of. But if you do your homework and you know that you can get something at a fair price,
they'll take you more seriously.
And they're not going to give you bullshit prices. So I went into the wholesaler like, hey, this is what I want. This is what I know I can get it at. These are my resources. This is what I'm looking for. Make it happen. And they threw like a few options on the table. Again, they only showed me like 3 to 4. And I was like, ooh, this one. I knew right away when I saw it. Something about it.
That's what I'm asking. What made you pick this ring?
Okay.
I know the story, but what made you pick this ring?
So I picked that stone because when I saw it, it stood out to me right away. It had that intangible quality to it where it just had a glow. It had a dance to it. And that is sort of the intangible things you can't get with shopping online. I knew when I saw that stone, like my mom was with me. She was there to experience how happy and excited I was.
You got a glow.
I was literally glowing because I was so excited that I was like, I cannot wait to give you this ring.
That's how I feel about the wedding dress I saw today. Literally, they're like, Tiffany, you are glowing and you're so happy. And I was like, I don't want to love this dress so much, but I freaking love it. And I'm so ready to just like walk down the aisle tomorrow. Like if we could, I would. And also not only that, like it fit me perfectly. All the dresses before was too long. The length of this dress was perfect for me. And I just
That's so exciting.
It was just perfect.
And for me, it's probably similar where like planning the engagement, there was so much planning also, planning in a different way where it's got to be a secret. There's so many different factors that you have to plan out. And it's almost like you have to have the perfect storm happen. Yeah. Whereas a wedding, it's a different type of planning where you have enough time. You just have to there's just so much more. That's maybe like the stress.
Yeah.
I was so overwhelmed. I'm like, okay, I want to propose. I know how I want to do it, but there's so many different things here that I have to do. But once I got the ring, I had that feeling. I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited to get all these other pieces in place. And it made it feel so much more exciting for me. And so also when I had the ring made, I had them send it to Portland from someone I work with because I was able to avoid some like sales tax, and then they actually mailed it.
So you saved 10%.
Yes.
LA sales tax is like 9.75%.
So I saved the 10%, but the f***ed up part is when I sent it, I think it was through UPS. I insured it, did all this stuff, obviously have to be there to sign, and they never told me when they actually sent it out. So I was like, when is it coming?
They never gave you like a 16-digit code for...
They told me they were going to send me the tracking, and then they didn't, and it was going to be overnighted. So the day that they told me they were going to send it, I was like, okay, maybe they haven't sent it. And then the next day I followed up. I'm like, hey, did you send it? They're like, oh yeah, here's the tracking. And I'm like, oh shit. And I was like, oh, it's actually coming tomorrow. Or no, sorry, it was on the weekend. So it was actually like, oh, it's coming Monday.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, it's coming between this time. There is a chance I'm going to be at the gym, but we'll see. And sure enough, it came when I was at the gym. I think I was on the phone with my sister. I'm like, oh my God, it's here. And I was so pissed initially. Number one, I was so excited, but I was so pissed that
they were supposed to have you sign for it.
Yeah, they literally left this ring on the front door.
That's
on the front porch.
I bet you they even like lied and said someone signed for it.
I don't know what they said. Yeah. But I took it and I was like, oh my God. I was literally
Imagine
on
if I saw it.
FaceTime. I know.
And I was like, because sometimes I once mindlessly actually accidentally opened your package before and you're so mad at me. But like, imagine if I accidentally mindlessly opened this package, because I get so many packages so often. Probably if you didn't see it, would have just opened it. And then
No, you would not have. The chances were really small because you have 15 packages sitting at right where the front door is inside, that you do this thing where you get all these packages and you procrastinate until it's just so overwhelming. And then you're like, I'm going to have a package opening day. And so the chances of you actually opening it on a spot before I got my hands on it.
What if it was that day?
I knew, especially at the time, I'm like, there's no way you're going to be up before me, ready to film, ready to be doing this, whatever.
It's just a hypothetical.
Yeah.
It's a what if.
Yeah.
What if?
Chances are, it could have been also lost in the mail. The chances of that happening are probably higher than you opening it, I'm going to say. But so I got the ring and I was like, I was like freaking the fuck out, because I'm like, oh my God, I have this ring. And then I'm like, oh my God, I am like hiding this ring. And like, that was weird
to have
for
a
me.
secret from me?
Yeah, I was like, I'm hiding this ring. That feels weird, especially because it's like expensive. And I'm like, here's this like very expensive asset that I'm like hiding.
Yeah.
But I got it and I was so excited. Literally, I like opened it and I was like, oh my God. I like took videos of it. I sent it to my family. I even sent it to Lauren.
Photos and videos of it?
Yeah, absolutely. I like sent it to Sammy, I'm pretty sure. I sent it to my friends.
Know this.
I sent it to my family. I definitely sent it to Sammy. I was like, oh my God, because I think we were like kind of in the middle of like catching up around that time. I sent it to Lauren and Jeremy because we had kind of been going through the process. Jeremy and I were like going through the process together, but then with your specific ring, I had been talking a little bit with Lauren as well.
Oh, really?
And she's like, you have to send it to me when you get it, da-da-da. And so it was so exciting. I was like, holy shit. And I was so happy. I'm like, I did so good.
You did amazing. I literally fell in love with the ring and cried like a child.
And that was also the realization.
I'm like staring at it right now and I'm still in awe of it.
That was also the realization when I was like picking out the ring. I'm like, I can't settle, because imagine if I just like settle for this ring and then I just knew that I settled and for the rest of eternity we'll be married, right?
Yeah.
I'll have to look at this ring and be like,
I should have got the other one.
Like, just doesn't have
even
that spark.
Even if I was happy?
Yeah, you would have been happy with any ring. And that's also the thing, is when you're looking at all of them next to each other, you can tell the differences. But when you take them out of the shop and you look at them, if it's in a certain ballpark in a range, it's going to look the same. Unless you develop the eye for it, which you do when you're going through the process, especially if you're getting informed about it and educated.
Yeah, it's so pretty. I'll have to post a photo right here of the ring. I keep staring at it. The more you're talking about like picking it out, the more I've been staring at it. I'm like, I'm still so in awe of it, and I've had it for 6 months now. Wait, can you believe we've been engaged for 6 months?
That's
October, November, December, January, February. It's been 6 months and a few days.
Wow.
Crazy.
I just can't believe that October was 6 months ago. September, sorry. I can't believe that September was 6 months ago. That's kind of even f***ed up.
Yes.
But I guess when I think about, that's when football started, the football season. Mm-hmm. That's when we really started launching
the NFT stuff.
We were like a month in to actually being public with it. There has been a lot that's happened in between that time.
I actually can't believe how much has happened in 6 months. It was the shortest time period.
But so much
many
has
things
changed.
has happened. Yeah.
Yeah, there's been a lot of changes. Our lives
have changed. We got Theo, engagement party,
engaged.
When
did we get Theo?
October. Literally a month after we got engaged. It was like, whoa. Like we're on like a like an engagement honeymoon high.
And then the puppy killed it.
The puppy killed it.
No, it did not.
A tiny bit. Only because having a puppy is real work. It's not like fun and games. Either way, let's do a fire round of questions for the wedding. Yes, 60 or over or 60 under.
People?
Yes.
I'm so bad with visualizing how many people. I'm trying to like break down.
That's 30 people per person. For like, we can invite 30, you can invite 30.
I would say a little more than 60.
Really? I'd say under. All right.
So being on the same
Nighttime
page,
wedding?
we should have like a score. Like being on the same page, we're 0 for 1.
Okay, 0 for 1. All right. You think of some questions. I have some questions. Nighttime ceremony, daytime ceremony.
Daytime.
I was thinking nighttime.
Oh for 2.
Oh for 2.
This is going well.
God. Okay.
Glimpse into our future.
Okay. In the U.S., outside of the U.S.
In the U.S.
I'd be okay with inside the U.S., but I would love a destination wedding.
You just brought this up recently, but that's...
You know what? It's because your sister's having a destination wedding in Mexico,
Yeah.
and I was like, that's such a great idea.
I
But
feel like it's limiting
Santa
in
Barbara
more work.
or L.A.?
If it's between the two, Santa Barbara.
Santa Barbara. Okay. 1 for 3.
Yeah.
Okay. Spending $30,000 more or less?
Less.
I want to be less, but I have a feeling with 60 plus people, it's going to be more. Do you know how much freaking wedding flowers are?
Yes, I know. I bought flowers for the engagement. That
How much
shit
did
ain't
you spend on
cheap.
the engagement wedding flowers or engagement flowers? Do you know?
Maybe like 1,500.
Just for the flowers that literally we threw away the next day?
I mean, that's always what you do with flowers.
I know.
Newsflash.
Yeah, I think
It was like 1,100 or 1,400. I can't remember. Something like that.
for our engagement party, the flowers was $1,500.
Yeah, it's very expensive. So florists, I know, are a huge, huge cost.
Yeah. And the
Something
decorate
people
the
don't
tables and the
realize-
ceremony and like the rose petals on
Yeah.
the floor, like that's gonna be at least $6,000 or $7,000 just for the
I would
freaking-
say to guys out there, a tip when planning a proposal is really allocate your budget. A lot of people are probably just thinking, oh, it's the ring and then some money for dinner and stuff. But there are a lot of expenses that come with doing a proper proposal, depending on how you want to do it. No one needs to go. I'm not talking even from an elaborate standpoint. I'm just saying if you want to do a nice
Yeah.
dinner, if you want to get flowers, if you want to, have something romantic set up, it's not just getting the ring. There are other factors you have to consider. So my best advice would be like, consult the friends of your potential fiance, their family. Definitely talk to some women about it because they'll help you. Because I'm
Also
sure there's
ask
so
other
many guys
that got engaged
that have
as
done
well.
it, yes, or have done it in a way that you respect.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure there's a lot of guys that did it and it was like, you clearly didn't put too much thought into it. And they probably just didn't know how. They didn't know who to reach out to. They didn't have the information and it can be tough. Like I
Yeah.
could see how so many guys struggle to do that or don't know how to set up a, thoughtful plan. And, I know people that proposed and it was like the female knew because the guy was making strong plans and she's like, hey,
You never make
do
plans.
this.
Matt was throwing me off. You kept making dates every week for us, which is very unlike us at that point in our lives when we were so busy with the NFT stuff. We weren't going
But I
on
also
dates.
was like, okay, we've been talking about how we need to schedule dates out. So it fit within that. But even if it didn't fit within that, throw 5 dates on the calendar and sprinkle it in.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good tactic because when we were going through the process, I realized in my head growing up, it's like, oh my God, a proposal is just like out of the blue surprise. But I think as you get closer to it as a couple, for the most part, most couples, they talk about it. It's open, going ring shopping. I think that now the conversation around marriage isn't like it used to be when our parents were getting married, where it was like
a complete surprise.
complete surprise. Now it's like, hey, we both need to be on the same page. That's why so many marriages failed, because they just thought it was this tradition that they had to follow through with rather than making a very intentional, conscious effort to take that next step. And so our generation, I think people are way more intentional and open about those kind of things.
Yeah. Bridal party or no bridal party? Do you know what a bridal party is?
You could explain it for the people.
That's like when you stand up on the altar and there's like people behind you, your brother. And
Oh
then-
yeah, bridal party.
I wasn't sure. I don't know.
Isn't it tradition to do that?
The new tradition is you actually don't have a bridal party.
I haven't been to
But
too
it
many
does
weddings, but I
just-
always pictured that.
Yeah. Who would be your groomsman? Definitely Andrew, right?
Yeah, he'd be in there
Yeah.
for sure.
Other questions. Are we having bachelor and bachelorette parties?
Yeah, what?
Strippers or no strippers?
Yes.
You're going to have strippers at yours?
It's a bachelor party.
Okay.
What?
Good to know. I don't
Yeah.
think I would. I like the idea of strippers, but I've seen a stripper before and I'm like, I'm just not impressed.
I think it's just more about the
vibe.
experience
It's- you
and
know
the
what?
vibe. And it's for the it's for
It's
the
for the
people.
friends. It's for the friends.
Yeah, it's like,
Okay,
let's
then-
do a bunch of drugs and make some bad decisions.
I don't know about drugs and bad decisions there.
Well, that's my bachelor party.
So you'll make bad decisions. Good to know. So
I'm
we'll
not
never
making
make
any
it to the altar
promises.
then.
That's not true.
If you're making bad decisions on your bachelor party, I don't know.
You don't know what bad decisions I'm talking about.
What are bad decisions then?
I don't know. You'll have to find out.
I wrote that I'll make sure to make some bad decisions on my bachelor party. All right. Don't kiss and tell. Is that the rule for? Okay. Good to know. All right.
No, we can think about it and talk about it.
No. That's what I thought. All right. So we're okay with strippers. That's fine. I always imagine strippers at yours. I was like, I like the idea of strippers at mine, but I was like, I don't really care to see a stripper. It's like other things. Do you have a theme you want to do? I don't know.
Do you think I have a theme?
Oh, live music.
Live.
Or live band.
Oh.
Like singer or band.
You just said the same thing pretty much. You wouldn't have a singer without a band at a wedding. You need like instruments. You need, it's not like someone's going to be doing like acapella songs.
So yes to live
it's
music.
DJ or live band is the question.
Yes, DJ or live band. I don't know. Alex's wedding. We just went to your friend's Alex's wedding. And let me tell you, the entire time we were there, I was like, this is the most amazing music I've ever heard at a wedding. I kept being like, Matt, this live band I want at our wedding if we were going to have a wedding with a live band.
I've been to a few weddings and Alec had a really good band. There was another one I was at that had a really good band, and you don't forget when there's a good band because you're having such a good time. There's just this
tempo
feeling that
and energy.
Yeah, it's just this tempo and this energy. I feel like people are more willing to dance. It feels more catered to your night rather than just someone playing like Drake songs and like classic hits.
Yeah.
With an aux cord and being a DJ. I definitely want a live band.
I want to know how much Alex live band was, because if we had the budget, I would love to book them because they just were once so talented but understood when to play a song, when not to play a song, and they were just incredible at keeping the energy alive, and it really is all about the music.
Wedding gigs for musicians is a great.
So
Anderson .Paak was playing weddings for years
before he got big,
before he got famous on his own stuff.
Sounds like we're gonna have a $30,000+ wedding from the answers you're giving me.
I said live band. We could sub out the flower arrangements for the live band, cut costs dramatically.
Would it be black tie or like semi-formal for the attire for the guests?
I feel like semi-formal is chill.
Really?
I could
you
see
better
either
dress up. I almost want white tie. Do you know what white tie is?
You and your ties and colors.
These
like our
are
engagement party was like black and green. And
you don't know what black tie is?
I know what black tie is, but
you know what semi-formal is? Do you know what white tie is?
I'm assuming people wear white.
No, white tie is the most formal wear. That is like ball gowns, because black tie is not ball gowns. It's just a long dress and a tuxedo for a man. But black tie is like gowns, like Oscars.
No, I'm down to do like super fancy. I feel like it makes it special. Like our engagement party, everyone was dressed up, and you see your friends, and they come, and they're putting more intention and thought into it. It makes it feel like it's not, I'm just showing up for another party. This is a special occasion.
Yeah.
And especially for a wedding, absolutely.
I was thinking this. I want everyone to dress up to the nines and try to outdo me. Like, I don't care if you're dressing so fancy. I see your like feathery hat while I'm at the altar. Like, I want you to dress up and try.
That's hilarious.
That's what I want. I want like a super, super formal attire where like people are like, oh shit, like I gotta like shop for this event. But that's just me. That's just me.
I'm down with that for sure.
Okay, so extended family or no extended family?
In my head, extended family. I know you've said no extended family for you.
Well, I don't want to invite anyone where you don't know their names. Like, I'll invite Uncle Mike and Stephanie because you know their names. But like, imagine if I invited all of my aunts and you don't know their names and you're just like, hi.
But it's not about me knowing their names. It's if they're important for you to be there, that's what's important. It's not about me knowing them.
You have a list of 30. We just split the invites in half, and I guess whoever you invite is whoever you invite, and whoever I invite is whoever I invite, right? Like, but I think there should be rules of like, do we give people +1s if we've never met their boyfriends or husband? Like, that's the conversation.
Do people not?
Then
is that like a thing where it's like,
you
you
do
get
realize,
invited
and that means you only get like 20 invites.
Yeah.
And then you have to think about their +1s. No, I probably wouldn't give +1s if I've never met the person or been on a double, or if you've never met them and been on a double date with them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think for me, I would actually like to know everyone at the wedding. So time to hang out with your extended family more.
I mean, you know all my extended family.
I do. I don't know their names like necessarily that well, just like you don't know my extended family's names that well.
I think a lot of the decisions will probably come down to like the venue.
Yeah.
right? The aesthetic, the vibe, the attire, the amount of people.
Do you have an idea of what you want your aesthetic to be?
No.
Really? I want old money aesthetic. That's why I want people dressed up to the nines.
I'm down with it. I like that you always have visions for events and
Yeah.
parties. I don't think that way.
I want an estate
Your friend
feel.
Allison's party that she had over the like summer for her birthday was the best theme ever, which was golf attire. Like
Yeah.
everyone's got polos and people were wearing, it was just so fun.
It was so fun.
That's such a good, easy, low hanging. And she's like, "Ooh, I got it." And then when we saw her a few weeks ago, she's like, "Ooh, I got another really good theme for this year that I'm excited about."
Yes.
I like creative themes. It's cool.
We are going to her birthday, April 1st. Her theme is patterns, strong patterns. So whatever.
Oh
that
yeah,
might
she said that. Yeah.
Tie dye, argyle, chevron.
That'll be cool.
Cheetah print.
Is Chevron like the gas station?
Baby, you're being serious?
Yeah. What I thought Chevron was,
pattern.
No.
A V pattern.
Yeah. I see. I didn't know that was called Chevron. Now I know.
You know what argyle is?
No.
The argyle
Gargoyle? I know what a
Argyle?
gargoyle is.
Okay, stop it. I'm trying to explain argyle. It's very important. Argyle.
It's not important.
Old money aesthetic. Diamonds with V's.
I like it.
I'll show you.
It's classy. It's timeless.
Diamonds with
Cool.
V's.
I like it.
Okay, so old money aesthetic, 60 plus people, live band, nix the flowers,
We don't
white
actually
tie
need to
attire.
mix the flowers, but we totally could.
We
Is there like an alternative for flowers?
Why can't we rent flowers? Like, if there was a wedding, like, imagine we had a daytime wedding and then there was a nighttime wedding later. Like, we can just transfer the flowers to them and, like, we split the cost of the flowers.
That's genius.
Okay,
Has
tiered.
that
I don't know.
That's
Has that
really
happened?
smart. I'm sure that would make sense. Or like the next day.
Yeah.
Like, hey, let's coordinate.
Yeah.
But
Maybe we should
florists have no incentive to coordinate that. So it would have to be like the wedding.
Unless they made a little bit more money. Like instead of charging one person $10,000 for this, like they keep their own flowers, they got to charge like $14,000, but it was split between two people. So it was the same amount of work, but just like split.
Yeah.
Either way, this is us dreaming real hard because that ain't ever happening. All right, what other things? No questions about the wedding?
You're bringing up things that I didn't even know were things.
I have another one.
You've answered everything, which was more of.
I mean, when you imagine your wedding, is it in a church, a courtyard, a estate, on the beach? Like, because
Definitely not on the
Santa
beach.
Barbara has so many options. They
Yeah.
have their mission churches, they have the beach, they have a restaurant venue.
I
they just
definitely
have
don't picture it
homes.
being in a church. I picture it being outside, like courtyard kind of.
Okay, that's good to know. These
But
are
it
all
could
important
be,
questions.
but I'm just open,
Mhm.
you know?
I really liked Humans. She had like a beautiful like hotel
outside-
estate.
yeah.
Yeah, that was really pretty. Our friend Human got married in Mission Viejo.
And the lighting in hotels, like especially those banquet rooms, like
I don't
for
like-
conferences.
I'm glad you said that.
they
I don't like
disgust
that
me.
either. I had the best time at Alex and Human's wedding, but the entire time I was like, this room feels too big. You know what I liked about Human's wedding? She had the Syrian mariachi.
Oh, that was
like
so
the
fun.
version of a mariachi band, but like a Syrian, Persian, like
What could we do for
Middle
your
Eastern?
Chinese heritage? Could we have like a
dragon dancers.
dragon?
Yeah.
That would be f***ing sick.
But that might take away from the music because Chinese music is very like.
well, if it was for a certain moment, it would be fun.
I actually like that you said that because that's exactly what I want at the wedding. Dragon dancers doing the crazy like acrobats with the dragon dancing on the little like stilts.
Side note, you know how we just watched the movie Luca, the
Yeah.
Disney movie, and it like takes place in Italy and stuff.
Silenzio Bruno. Silenzio
Yeah.
Bruno.
It made me really want to tap into more of my
Italian.
Italian side, but also it made me really more curious about my heritage. And I really want to get.
What is
I
a
don't
tradition?
trust.
Italian wedding tradition.
I don't know. It's a good point. Again, I want to get more into it.
Like I want to do something fun, like
Yeah.
stepping on glasses, which
Like
is
maybe there's like
Jewish.
accordions, you know, like
Yeah.
kind of like street music.
We can have pasta. That's
Yeah.
But that's
no,
the
where I was
low-hanging
going in
fruit.
with though is I really want to know where my ancestors are from, but I don't trust giving my DNA to like 23andMe. Like that
Yeah.
just scares the shit out of me. I'm like,
I
you're going to
thought you
give me my
are from
DNA.
Calabria.
That's where my grandma's from. She's from Calabria, Italy.
Calabria. Okay, that's
She's
how you say it.
100% Italian, but my grandpa that she married was Irish.
Yeah.
And then on my dad's side, Russian, German, like I'm a mutt.
Yeah.
But I just want to know more specifically where they came from and also like what are the exact numbers?
Like breakdown?
Yeah, like a breakdown
But
of
you
like
feel
what's
the
in me.
most Italian because your grandma's 100% Italian. I didn't want to say it, but I'm really sad that your mom and grandma don't cook traditional Italian food because it would have been so fun just as a bonding experience to like cook with them. Right? Because my mom loves to cook and would love to teach you and me.
She should teach you. That's your thing.
I definitely.
Which makes me want to really tap into that side or even start making my own recipes and be like, oh, this is so good, and then pass it down.
Can we take an Italian cooking class together? Imagine if we learned how to make fresh pasta together. Yeah. Like, let's do it.
That would be
I'll
awesome.
look into it. You know what was really cute was that your brother's girlfriend, aka Kaylee, bought us dancing lessons because I forgot that was a thing.
Engagement. Yeah, that was a gift for the engagement party.
For the wedding, pretty much. Yeah.
That's fine.
So we should, we probably should learn it closer to the wedding because we're not going to practice and then we'll forget. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm just excited to get married.
Me too.
Are you really?
You're asking me.
Let's do a rotten submission, guys. Dun, dun, dun. You ready for rotten? We need like an actual like jingle right here. Matt's like, I don't want to do extra work.
No, it's not about that. I just don't see it fitting in naturally. Maybe like a sound effect, like a custom sound effect, or a little like you're saying, like a brun, 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 or like some just to like vibe. Yeah, maybe
to like show that it's a
or maybe when
segment.
We deem if it's rotten or unrotten.
You know, like
rotten, and
I
it's
love
like a
that.
button.
All right, guys, submit your rotten responses and confessions down below if you guys want to be featured. All right, we have a good one, ladies and gentlemen. Am I rotten for DMing a girl and telling her I am the other woman? I met this guy on Hinge and we began going on romantic dates. I really liked him and he checked out a lot of boxes for me. 2 months into us dating, we were planning a trip and in the middle of it, he goes and tells me I need to be honest. He then proceeds to tell me he's been in a failing relationship with another girl for the last 6 months and I was the other woman. He said he felt guilty the entire time we were dating and wanted to come clean. Honestly, I really appreciated his honesty, but I ended it right then and there. I told my friend what happened and she was able to find the other girl on Instagram. So I sent her a message telling her I was so sorry. I had no idea he was dating anyone else and I was the girl.
So she was the other one. So he was dating someone for a longer time and then
she was the girl on the
side. She's like the mistress.
Mm-hmm. I've been cheated on before and I know exactly how it feels. And being a girl's girl, I wanted to let her know even though I didn't know her. So am I rotten? Should I have told her at all or should I have hoped he would have told her?
I don't think she's rotten at all for that.
I don't think she's rotten at all. Good for you. That's exactly what you're supposed to do.
That's pretty clean. I wouldn't say she's rotten. I don't even have too much to say about it. I feel like she did the right thing. I love that she said that she ended it right there.
Yeah.
Because some people would have been like, oh, maybe a little insecure, wanting to like hold on to something. But it sounds like she has enough respect for herself, which I admire, to be able to just cut things off, stand up for herself, and also let the other woman know because it's like, yo, I wouldn't want that done to me. I didn't like this. Just letting you know. Also, fuck that dude.
Yeah. I wonder if the only reason I would think she would be rotten, she's not in this case, would be if he said, hey, I'm going to tell my girl, like, can you just
but that didn't happen.
want to be the person that tells her. But
it seems like she had really good intentions with the reasoning behind it. It wasn't out of some jealousy. It wasn't to like get back at him. It was like, hey, I just want to like let you know that this is what's been going on and you deserve to know.
Yeah.
And from that angle, I think she's not rotten at all.
She might be the most innocent rotten response we've gotten.
Yeah.
In my rotten response we've gotten.
If her intentions were,
like, I don't think she would have been rotten even if it was to get back at the guy. Would it have been? Is it all about intentions or is it
not always about intention? I think the intention varies, how important the intention is definitely varies on the situation.
Yeah.
But if her intentions were just to do something, just to get back at him, I would kind of think that feels like a rotten behavior. It has
even
a little
though it's the
evilness
same
to
effect.
It. Yeah. For a situation like this, her intentions are like, hey, you should know, you deserve to know.
Yeah.
This is where it's at. Instead of being like him, like I'm gonna get back at him. And maybe that's what she was doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to have this person respond again and tell us
what the intention was. Yeah.
No, we know the intention. I want her to tell us, did the girl respond back? Because I'm really curious.
Yeah, I would love to hear
like
what the response was.
Either way, let us know if you were the girl that submitted this response. I would love to hear how the other girl responded, because I could see the girl could either be really happy she responded or been like, I can't believe the other woman. How did you not see the signs? Like, like to me, like if you were dating for someone for 2 months, I would hope I would see signs that you were dating someone else. Like, I don't know if I'd be completely blindsided. I'd be like, he's like not really that like talkative between the hours of like 10 p.m. and like 4 a.m. Like, or he only texts me at like 12 a.m. to 4 a.m. when the girl's asleep or something. Like, I feel like I would see some signs in 2 months of dating someone romantically, but maybe not. Maybe not.
It depends on the person. I'm sure it could be very blind. Because also you don't want to assume things. And so you're just, you know, having trust and faith that there's no reason to generate suspicion.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm sure if they're acting different and have different habits and tendencies, then yeah, you'd be able to pick up on that. But anyways, not rotten. Love the submission.
Yes.
Want the follow up. That was a great way to end it. And
give us more Am I Rotten stories,
love
please.
the rotten stories.
This is one of my favorite parts of the pod, is doing the
I know,
Am I
I was
Rotten?
sad we didn't have one last week. I was like, I'm looking forward to this.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for listening. If you guys have not already rated us 5 stars on Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts, if you ever are on Google Podcasts, go do it right now. We'd appreciate it. Send us the DM screenshot. I would love to DM you back.
That camera. This camera.
Are we hot ones right now?
I love how they do that. Plug it for the people.
Yes.
Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to subscribe.
All right. Make sure to subscribe, guys. I love you guys. We'll see you guys next Tuesday. Bye, guys.